We are at Sony Pinewood today for a quick first look at the Z300, their new flagship fixed lens camcorder for news acquisition and actuality work. The aim here for Sony is to make the best camera possible for documenting what is happening around us. Think war zones, natural disasters, politics, all of that. It is essentially a redesigned and refined Z280. It's the same lens and sensor unit, but with new processing, updated physical design, and some incredibly important workflow improvements. Perhaps the biggest workflow addition is to do with authentication. This is a really new and developing area, but an incredibly important one in today's landscape of generative AI and misinformation sharing. As news gatherers, how you verify and prove that this important video you have of something newsworthy is genuine is becoming so important. Luckily, there's a committee called the C2PA who are aiming to solve exactly that challenge. They have a metadata verification technology specifically designed for image creation. We've already seen it come to photography cameras from a few brands now, but this is the first time we've seen this technology inside a video product. Essentially, the camera will embed metadata inside the files it creates, which will not just prove that they are real, but also where and when they were taken and that they are undoctored. Now, this is a new tech. There are all kinds of details which we aren't quite sure of yet, but it's exciting stuff and it's becoming hugely important for the kind of work that this camera is designed for. The other big workflow change is the integration with Sony's portable data transmitter, the PDT-FP1. If you aren't familiar with this already, think of it as a gateway between the camera and the internet. It is essentially phone technology, but without the phone bits, of course. And because it's a dedicated bit of kit, you aren't relying on the operators using their own devices or phones. It's much better for security, for example. If you have a fleet of these cameras, you just have one of these in the bag with each camera in the same way as you would your audio kit or your top light, for example. To use it, you clip it onto the new V-wedge on the side of the camera and connect it over USB-C. It has its own internal battery, but it also receives power from the camera over the USB-C port, so will remain charged at all times pretty much. You can then set it up in multiple ways. You can either choose the clips to upload, or it can just upload everything. You can choose for the camera to send it just proxies or camera originals, and it has inbuilt storage as well. So you can treat this as another way of getting file redundancy when you're out in the field, which is quite handy. It connects to Sony's cloud services, and then once it's inside Sony's platform, it can be redirected to any third-party services that you need. Because of the integration with Sony's platform though, it can do a neat trick where it pauses file uploads if you lose your internet connection. So it won't fail the whole upload, it will just pause it and then carry on when your connection comes back. It's also so much nicer using it with a bigger screen and dedicated user interface rather than the camera's LCD and menu system, which can get quite clunky for this kind of cloud work. Physically, it is similar in many ways to the Z280, as you would expect, but a lot has changed. Some big changes and some small tweaks. Perhaps the biggest change is to the monitoring. The rear viewfinder is no more, and the LCD screen has been much improved, especially this new flip-out mechanism. This is actually one of the best ones I've ever seen on a camera. You can position the LCD in so many different places, which is going to make a big difference when you're working and is a real step forwards over the very simple one, which is on the Z280. The panel itself is now the same 720p high bright display that was on the Z280. We now have one MI shoe compared to the two which were on the Z280, and it's been moved to the back on this new diagonal part of the top handle in the space where the rear viewfinder was. This is so that you can mount their audio receiver in a much more secure and streamlined place. You can even now lock it down in place with this screw on the back, so you're going to be able to keep it in place and attached when you're pulling it in and out of a bag. So the idea is you just have your whole camera all attached, ready to go to just pull out and start filming immediately as a grab and go unit. The media is probably the other biggest change. Gone are the S/S cards of the Z280, and now we have the same media slots as on every other Sony camera. dual slots which can take both SD cards and CF Express Type A. Another nice touch is that the mains power in is now a USB-C PD port, so you don't need to use a dedicated mains power supply that is bulky and take that with you when you're traveling all over the world. You can just use the same USB-C charger, which you're going to be able to use to power your camera, your laptop, your phone, the NP1, everything you have with you pretty much. The power switch location and the design of the buttons has also been updated to match the rest of Sony cameras, and the whole menu system has also been updated to match as well. The idea is you should be able to switch easily between this, the Z200, the FX6, the FX9, all without having to adjust much at all. It is clear Sony have really been listening to their customers with this. This is a camera built around being the best out there for one very specific style of work. And in a camera landscape which is very much leaning towards image quality and large sensor cameras, that's quite refreshing to see in many ways. For this kind of work, sure, image quality is very important, it's always very important, and you want good low light performance and all of that. But you really want a smaller sensor with deep depth of field so that everything is in focus and you don't miss your focus in an important moment. You want decent zoom range so that you can change what you're capturing in a split second and react to the world around you. And above all, you need to work incredibly fast. The Z300 is designed not just to get you good images, but takes advantage of modern technology to get those images to the places they need to be as quickly as physically possible, in as secure a way as possible, and to have the authentication tools which are needed to combat today's crazy landscape online. If you're looking at investing in Z300s for your own work, please do get in touch with the team here at ProAV. We'd be happy to help. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.